Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Omar, and today we're going to do a special assignment documentary that is centered in South Africa around reformative schools. I'm South Africa, so I understand and I get the documentary, and I probably will get better than anybody else. So I'm going to set up some premises. Number one, South African documentaries are not done like the documentaries in America or Britain. There is no lighting to set the mood. There is no cinematography to set the mood. It's very straightforward. It's very non-film like. So it's straight to the point. It doesn't add any fluff or any what you call it, razzle and bedazzle, right? So that's the first thing I want to say before I get into this documentary. Number two, because we live in South Africa, one of the most violent countries in the world, one of the most countries where there is lots of femicide and rape in the world, the delivery of the documentary is very it sounds nonchalant and it sounds very unemotive. So it's a very unemotive documentary because we're so used to it in South Africa that it doesn't really evoke emotions anymore. Like we expected it to happen. So it takes place in 2001, and the main characters are Vicky Luzo, Eric and Yuri. Right? Eric and Yuri are brothers. Eric is 17, Yuri is 14, and Vicky is as well 14 years old. Or is it 16? 14 and 16. So they basically teenagers. So there is a reform school in Pretoria called Echo Tumalo. I think I'm pronouncing it properly. I know it's South Africa, but I'm an English speaking South African. So this documentary follows these three boys, but mostly Eric and Yuri. They go King Eric. They have a very high rap sheet. They have been in and out of reformatory schools. In one day they escaped 4 times. I mean 2 days they escaped 4 times from one reformatory school. They've been in jail 15 times, arrested 15 times. They are living in abject poverty. So Africa is a mainly impoverished society where very few people being rich and middle class. So the children in South Africa, especially in those type of areas, do not have access to resources. So what happens is because their parents are so abjectly impoverished, they don't actually parent the children because they're so busy worrying about I am stumbling over my words, right? They are so busy worrying about getting food and money and stuff, so they don't actually care about doing proper parenting. So I want you to understand when I talk about this documentary, you cannot judge the parents because they have their own shit going on. So okay, let's start. It sets you up for something bigger. The way it starts, the way they talk about it in the title of the documentary, it sets you up for something bigger, but it doesn't. It falls flat on this big reveal, right? So it might be big to you, it might be to me. What they do actually just stating facts. So Yuri and Eric are cocaine addicts. Some of the boys is 214-year rapists. Some of them are armed robbers. And Guatemala is their last chance. If they fuck it up here, they will go to prison for the rest of their lives. And the arresting officer that arrests Yuri and Eric is very, very pissed off at the parents because why aren't they like doing their job? Like I explained, that they're in abject poverty. They don't have the capacity to parent properly. So Yuri and Eric are in this um, reformatory school called Tsukumalo. They do get privileges, not many. One of the privileges is smoking to help wean them off the cocaine. They have classes and they don't fail the job. That's one thing they have. They don't fail the job. If you're not making it in a certain class, you just swap classes to suit your skill set. Eric adapts well, but Yuri doesn't. Yuri is messed up completely. He wants to go home. He hates his place. He's absolutely angry about being there. There have been cases of rape in the Tucumalo Reform School, the capacity is around 120, but they are currently housing 134, 144, and for every 60 students, there's three staff members. It's overcapacitated. So again, South Africa is poor, so our facilities do not have the resources to deal with such an influx of bad seeds. After a couple of days of being there, Eric is hopeful that he can reform his life. So they get terms off. So in Africa we have terms, not semesters. So term one is January to March. Term two is June to August. Term three September to October to November. I'm getting it wrong. July. So term one is January, February, March. Term two is April, May, June. Term three July, August, September. Term four is October, November, and then like 2 weeks of December. So every term they get a week or two off from school. However, if they are badly behaved, they stay back and get taken on outdoor type activities to build a bond and to show them that even though they have done bad, there is a support system, and that support system will help them. So the idea is to help them reform. Uh, do they reform? Mostly not. Most of them go back to the streets. We talk about the 28 gangs, the 25 gangs, and the big fives and 27. Those are specific gangs. So one of them is for rape, one of them is for armed robbery, one of them is for murder. The 28 are for murder. So the big fives or something else. I don't remember exactly what it was for, but those are the gangs in, in around the Africa, in Joburg specifically, towards Pretoria. Pretoria and Joburg are in the same province. We don't call it states because the state is a province. So Africa is a state. So provinces would be mini states. So state or the province we stay in, it's called Gauteng Region, and it's the smallest province, but Joburg being the largest city in, in this province. So Pretoria is after. Pretoria is our capital city. So Eric is convinced he will reform, and Yuri is not. Yuri's like, I'm never going to reform. Maybe one day I'll reform. He doesn't like it there. He doesn't want to be there. There's some great gangs there. Um, if there's something wrong, they probably just get taken away smoking and going home for the holidays. And then we get Vicky. Vicky was in Itukamalo, and he was gang raped. And he was gang raped because staff members were coming to work drunk. That's another problem. The alcoholism is off the top. So they were too drunk to help him, and he got scared and he phoned one of the correctional officers that had, I think, arrested him. And that he came to fetch him. When he got there, he felt uncomfortable and felt insecure, so he ran away a couple of times. And that's why he's emotional, because this white man took in his black boy and he was scared that this child was going to come back to stay with him, and was actually on the verge of tears. And the child came back, and he started bonding, started like taking care of the horses and all of this stuff, and then he meets. And this part really fucks me up. Like he had to meet his former students or his former classmates from Itukamalo, and the people who raped him were still there. They said, those fuckers, that because they are the way they are and they're already going to prison, so because of that, they can't do anything about the rape, about the sodomy. Which, given I understand that they are going to prison because most of them do still end up in prison. They don't actually get reformed, but you still cannot leave them unpunished for sodomizing a child. They're all children, and they sodomizing each other. So I was talking about how he was stabbing people and how they were trying to rape his friends or into friends with other friends. to go and beat up this boy for trying to rape his other boyfriend. I'm still stuck on the side of me though. Like, why wouldn't you do something? Like, why wouldn't you punish these people? And it's even worse because Vicky meets them on one of these excursions or outings, and they just say, "Hey, how are you?" He says, "Hey, how are you?" Like, they exchange pleasantly. There's no, doesn't seem like there's bad blood. But I would think there would be. Again, I'm gonna explain. It might sound nonchalant because it is nonchalant. Like Africa, we walk around knowing that we can be murdered, raped, trafficked at any given point. I can leave my house and go to the shop and there's no guarantee I come back home. And yet we still go to the shop every day of our lives. We are so nonchalant about how messed up criminally our country is that we don't give a fuck. Us, we don't give a fuck. It's just it comes across as we don't give a fuck. Even the reporter was reporting, she was doing a voiceover, was coming across as very nonchalant. Like this is like it happens every day. And it's a normal. It is a normal occurrence, but to say 14-year-old rapists, to put 14-year-old and rapists in the same sentence doesn't shouldn't sit well. But we speak about it like it's a normal thing. This documentary is very factual, very nonchalant. Um, there's no big secret. Even though there's a setup to reveal a big secret, like for there to be like a scandal with Itokomalo, but there wasn't. It is very factual. And if you do watch it, it's going to come across as very basic and very unemotional. That's the only thing. But I do deep down feel documentary was made in 2001, so those children are now fully grown adults. Whether they're alive or dead, I can't tell you. Can't find anything on whether or not they're alive or dead. But at the time of that filming, I was 9, so I wasn't really aware of how bad South Africa was until I was about 14 years old. So one thing when you're going into watching the documentary, if you feel like watching it, it does give a great insight on the livelihoods of South Africans, especially boys, especially people who are poor. I just want to touch like we have major problems in South Africa when it comes to financial independence and finances and money, and I don't think people understand how bad it is. It is bad to the point where even if you are working, you are still asking people for money for help. That's how bad it is to help you pay the rent, to help you pay the food, to help you pay groceries, lights, whatever it is, maybe you still asking. So you could have 4 people working in your house, and you will still have the need to ask someone for money for gas injection. So, especially Eric and Yuri, their stepfather enabled them. Like, if they did something wrong, even though he was upset about it, he would actually enable them. He actually helped them. I think one of the times they escaped, he helped them, and he also brought Dacha for them. So he snuggled in. Dacha is an African term for like weed, or what you could call pot. This is a American pot for weed. It's both, right? They their stepfather smuggled in weed even though he didn't have money to buy food. And they were living in a small room together and trying to make ends meet. And their mother wasn't really giving them the attention or the guidance that they needed. And because of that, they were stuck. And so they were stealing, robbing, doing whatever they could to get their hands on money to get cocaine or heroin. Cocaine and heroin. So, yes, the documentary is flat. Um, it's nonchalant. And if you are not an African, you won't understand how that works or understand the meaning behind that. So you probably find it very irritating and very triggering and very, what's the word? inhumane. But that is how we have been brought up. That is how we love. We try not to let the situations we are living in affect us like that. And again, you cannot judge the parents who blame themselves for in abject poverty. Some of them are in jail, some of them are dead. It is a very high octane lifestyle in terms of danger. So it's called Special Assignments on YouTube. You can watch it and make a conclusion for yourself. But if you're not an African, please understand that there's no setting of the mood, there is no cinematography, there is no um, fancy camera angles. It's just straightforward to the point. These are the facts and finish. It's just 22 to 25 minutes of documentary. So watch it. It'll help you understand South Africa better and understand how we live and how we understand life. And try to watch as many special assignment documentaries that you can find on YouTube to really piece together how we live. It's not a jungle with wolves and baboons and lions. There's our houses and people and industries and all of that crap. I personally felt it for Yuri because he was only 14 and he was already like he gave up. Like he literally gave up on life completely and utterly at 14. He didn't think that he could make it. He didn't think he could reform. And the opposite is if they don't make it into Komalo and they do manage to escape and they do manage not to go to jail, they won't make it past 19. So there's a possibility Yuri did not make it past 19. And if that is true, because I can't find anything, I am deeply saddened by that. I hope you enjoyed what I talked about today. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, tomorrow will probably be a movie review or something. Well, tomorrow is Friday, so there'll probably be a movie review. Thank you so much. Bye.